Hello and welcome back to Movie Health Community, the internet's #1 source of health warnings at the movies. As always, please keep in mind that nothing produced by Movie Health Community is medical advice, nor has it been reviewed by any medical professionals. Today's movie is Aquaman 2, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, starring Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. This movie brings an end to the DC connected movie universe as we know it, starting with the next movie, Superman Legacy. It's going to be a whole reboot done by James Gunn. We'll talk in a minute about whether or not this franchise has ended with a bang or with a whimper, but first off, is this movie safe for photosensitive audiences? The answer is God no. This movie really only has two types of strobe effect in it. It has lightning, very severe strobe lights used for lightning. The opening shot of the movie after the production company logos is one of these extreme strobes, but that opening scene is not the only use of extreme lightning. And then there are a lot of rapid firing lasers throughout the movie, creating very bright strobe effects. For flashing lights, we are giving Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom a 10 out of 10. Extreme caution. There should be a warning on the outside of every showing of this movie. In terms of motion sickness, this movie does get pretty intense with high-speed chases, specifically chases through the water. We go through a lot of high speeds, complex maneuvers like barrel rolls, and there are some scenes that take place at extreme heights. So if you're prone to motion sickness at the movies, be aware of that. Then the only mental health warning I really have is that there is some rather graphic animal gore. Now, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, is it any good? Again, the pressure is on this movie to be the epic conclusion to Zack Snyder and company's connected universe of DC movies. The first Aquaman did a really good job feeling like a Saturday morning cartoon and feeling a lot less serious than all the stuff that Zack Snyder was doing. This movie seemed to take itself more seriously than that, unfortunately, and it was to the movie's detriment. There is some fun to be had. Jason Momoa still plays a pretty fun character, but the superhero fatigue is just really setting in hard, and this movie did not help. A few years ago when I went to see Shazam, the first Shazam, I was already starting to feel some of that superhero fatigue, and that movie reminded me that superhero movies could still be fun. I haven't really felt that way about any superhero movies this year, and now with all of them out, that's just kind of a disappointment. I actually saw a really interesting TikTok on this subject earlier today. J.J. Abrams gave a TED Talk once, and he would ask people, what is E.T. about? And if people say it's about an alien, he says that's actually wrong. It's about a family going through a horrible, horrible divorce. And the alien is actually just part of the story. And it reminded me of why Iron Man is so good. Iron Man is not, it is a superhero movie, obviously, but more importantly, it's a character story. And Iron Man has an arc, being an arms dealer turned hero. Spider-Man, he's a very interesting character outside of being Spider-Man. And it seems like they're really forgetting that with modern superhero movies. With Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom particularly, it felt like they were trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy, like trying to take some inspiration from that, including using one of the same songs from the soundtrack, Spirit in the Sky. So I was wondering about the screenplay of this movie while I was watching it, and a kind of backstory started to form in my mind, involving a discarded draft for the movie that eventually became Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. It felt like there was this script in the trash that was thrown out because it was terrible, not because Chadwick Boseman had passed, but just because the script was terrible. It felt like someone found that script, brought it over to Warner Brothers, changed around a couple of the names, and called it Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That's what this movie felt like. One of the big reasons I feel so fatigued after watching this movie is it didn't feel like it had any originality to it. I'm gonna give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom a D+, simply because there is fun to be had, and some of it is worth seeing when it comes to HBO Max, or Max, sorry. The superhero fatigue is too much, and this movie, it doesn't save itself from that. Thank you so much to our followers on Tumblr and Facebook, and an extra special thanks to our patrons over on our Patreon page, whose names are scrolling across the screen like credits right now. Be sure to leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we post new videos, and leave a comment if you have anything to add to this discourse about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, especially if you disagree with anything I've said here. We love hearing from you. And as always, stay safe at the movies.